going to be in these first 6
Yeah,
picks in Captain's Mode.
it continues to be really crazy with getting adjusted to this, but that's obviously the new mode that we have now going into Hunter Season 2 and for this Ultimate Series. It's just how fast it just starts to take place with that first pick happening after 4 bans in total. Or again, lock pick, you had 10 bans in total on top of the 6 lock. So you had 16 basically heroes that were taken out before the first pick even was able to take place. So instead 4 for this one. But anyways, there's the Aluna pick, so valuing the Aluna support here over any other is what Team Excellent basically says right there, maybe to help combo with that rally and give a little bit of that global presence, of course. Also good counter push against a hero like Tempest. So now with the Tempest, Pebbles are ready if you're Team SR. You're not necessarily rushing into your support option here. Maybe going something like that Torture. Okay, yeah, Torture is going to be the pickup here coming up from Team SR, so... You got Torture, both the support and the carry option as well, so definitely always makes him a great pick there. Not giving too much away here.
Definitely something that Slicks has really enjoyed playing in a short lane before, but I don't know how much experience I've seen Moon Meander actually have on something like that Torture, if that's a hero that he's extremely comfortable playing or not. As Breaky has to go grammar police right there for a second.
I know. I just had to.
Anyway, the bands coming out right here. Fade and Pyromancer going to be banned out by each team respectively. I don't even know what's going on now, Breaky. I don't know.
Anyways, sorry about that. All right, so yeah, Fade Pyromancers you're talking about concerning the...
Oh, no.
Oh, phew. Bubbles coming out there. Now, joining the party. Empath. They're banned. So won't have to deal with Empath again. Well, actually, they were the ones that played Empath here. So, and then Pew is known for playing Empath quite a bit, so perhaps going with that logic that it's a favorite hero of theirs.
Oh, man. I see Excellent highlighting that Accursed. And Pew loves running the Accursed Arachna.
Like, I keep hearing that, man, but the one time I've seen it, it just did horrendous, and
he thinks it's the best thing in the entire world. So maybe and they're shifting around over there, but of course, Accursed did get some major buffs in the patch.
He did.
With respect to that Seer.
I refrain from saying it's a major. I mean, it's a good buff. It's a utility buff. It gives him more of a presence throughout the game. I don't think it's major enough, though, to be like, okay, we need to actually really start to think about a curse. I love the hero, but it's just his presence, his laning presence. Honestly, you could argue that going a Jereziah is just a little bit better in the long run over a hero like a curse if you're going to go that route. So I think that kind of tends to be the general consensus. Now, a curse, again, he tends to be more aggressive, especially in the early on phase in a Jereziah, which is good. But overall, I think the Jereziah would just be more valued. Even if that niche you're gonna go. I know it makes you depressed, Beef. I know you're over here like
I'm crying a little bit. Like
whatever.
I just want to see the accursed Arachna.
I would love to see it.
Instead, we see Engineer, which is my favorite hero. So I mean, I'm like, yay! Right. Every day's a good day when you're casting Han.
What are they going with here with their final pick, though? I mean, they got a tri-lane set up with a Rally Aluna Engineer if they want to already, but let's go for more of a 2-2-1. I mean. Still need the carry option, really.
Corrupted Disciple.
Corrupted, you think? Yeah, we haven't seen a bit of that lately. Corrupted. Is Monkey King still on the board?
They
do have Monkey King option as well.
Lodestone is up there if they did want to try to use that.
Yeah, then they have to run like an Aluna.
Yeah, it's just kind of interesting. Okay, they will go with Dampier.
I like it.
And so that Dampier going to be part of that tri-lane, I would think?
Well, honestly, it probably depends, too, what tmsR finishes with here.
Yeah.
They do have the Jungle Tempest, so...
It definitely can be part of the tri-lane, or it could be in that solo short position, depending on how they expect tmsR to lane, like you said. What kind of a suicide that short lane Dampier would be going up against. Otherwise, Rally would be doing the soloing here. And so tmsR, they're going to really think, okay, what can we put in that long lane that's really, really going to do well against a solo Dampier? And, well...
I think you could go like a Dark Lady again here, honestly, if you're tmsR. You know, with that, we was talking about the Taint Soul, the Hatchet. If it happens to be an aggressive tri-lane against her, she can actually still manage pretty well. You can try to get Torture to maybe help box out initially, but going for something like that Dark Liddy and trying to just out-carry in the end could be possible again here. But so that's what I'd be thinking here as far as that if they ultimately want to choose that carry presence, they could run the Torture carry too, maybe just finish off with a strong support here instead. Not much left over, though.
I just really want to see Pestilence.
Pestilence. I would love that. Probably not here. It just doesn't seem like it makes the most sense here.
Gemini.
Okay, Gemini
Interesting.
coming out.
Yeah.
So now I don't know.
Yeah. This is actually going to be a Suicide Deadwood now. And Suicide Deadwood is definitely something that can go up against that Dampier. On top of that, you're going to have the Gemini actually moving up into the top lane most likely, while Pebbles and Torture hold down the middle. So
I don't know.
No?
Well, because what we keep going back to with Team Excellent of them possibly running an aggressive trial lane, I think we're going to see an aggressive pseudo trial lane from the Hellborn team as a result to kind of go against that. Something like a Pebbles Torture bottom with a Tempest in the jungle.
It's possible.
I don't know. I don't know. We're overthinking, I think, kind of at least.
Yeah, it's certainly possible. I mean,
Tempest is going top to start off, so.
Holy crap. Keep It the Forest does a lot of regen. That is a lot more regen than you normally ever see on a Keeper of the Forest.
Well, he's going Suicide. Yeah, they are going to be running a 2-2-1 now in the end. This is what it looks like. Is xCet, so that pretty much gives us information that they're not going to be running the aggressive tri lane.
Yeah, they'll instead be farming with that Dampier there in the bottom lane. And this is going to be really, really interesting. I still do think it's going to be Deadwood going into that Suicide lane. This is something that KZU has been doing a little bit in some matches over the past couple of weeks once again. And been showing some pretty good results, being able to get in and out of there. I think we even saw it in one of our matches earlier this week by somebody other than KZU that was able to get really early bottle. I can't remember who it was, though.
A Deadwood?
Yeah, we definitely saw a Deadwood that was Suicide in that top lane.
I'm actually blanking on that, but...
Yeah, I can't remember who exactly it was, but definitely had some success. And with the stacked regen, KZU going to be going down with 280 gold worth of regen into that bottom lane. Should actually have a pretty decent time against a 1v2, provided that he's going to be able to get into a good position and provided that xCet doesn't use some really, really aggressive wards. Like we saw at a Fitsky in that last time, but no. They're instead going to be placing one ward covering the bottom rune. And it looks like Aluna will carry the other one, so we'll see where Pew places this one. This ward could determine how effective of a time the Suicide Deadwood will have.
Remember, speaking of actually Dampier, just remember too, the balance patch 3.2, he did get a buff with his passive, the Bloodthirst. It actually now, when you have those charges up from the ultimate, every single charge gives you 10 attack speed.
Yeah.
For each essence Dampier possesses. So it made it so all three of the abilities synergize with that ultimate in the end. I believe that's how Dog Kaiser really explained it. So good slight buff there. It also gives him more of that late game presence, honestly. You know, the fact that with that passive already and then building up some attack speed, a Dawnbringer on a hero like, hell, it is Nox after all, so Dampier Dawnbringer, would not be surprised to see it, but it is a great item pickup on him. Granted, a Shrunken Head is definitely something that could be useful as usual, so we'll see how he builds, but it's a long way to go before we get that bit of information, but it is going to be Gemini having a good time up here, at least ideally at this top lane. Obviously, Keeper the Forest going to try to make life difficult, though, with pulling the creep wave.
Yeah, but Gemini doing a really nice job right now, actually tanking the creeps himself rather than letting him get into the tower, and doing a good job not taking too much significant damage during that either. And with this pull being unblocked, Torture going to go for a triple stack here before he pulls. The problem is going to be Keeper of the Forest, who's using these tree dogs fine, doing a nice job at actually harassing and pulling once more. If the creeps do get pulled by the tree dogs into the area that would allow them to be pulled by this pull camp, well, that would be good for Torture, but instead he's just going to get that triple stack. Fine, really trying to be annoying with the dogs, but it's just not working out, at least so far. And the one thing I'm really worried about on the Hellborn side is going to be Pebbles in this middle lane. A hero that's not really known for doing exceptionally well in a 1v2 position, and Torture showing that, at least for right now, trying to stick in that top lane. So I don't know how Slicks is going to fare.
Yeah, Torture, if anything, he wants to get the initial triple stack pull off to try to get some lane positioning back for Gemini that may adjust after that. But yeah, no doubt Pebbles, Slicks here playing the Pebbles. He, once again, I mean, remember last game, he was playing in kind of a similar situation where he was 1v2 with a Monkey King. Didn't have the biggest impact at the earlier on stages, but, you know, eventually into the later game, of course, he was able to recover and do just fine. Now, Pebbles is definitely a little different when it comes to that. He really needs that, I don't okay, not necessarily needs, but does love that snowball effect, and his recovery, unlike the Monkey King, maybe a little bit more difficult, but he does get the early on bottle, so we'll keep an eye on Slicks' farm, and again, also the adjustment from Torture, perhaps. Maybe if this lane positioning gets back in Gemini's favor. I've also been having fun, though, watching KZ on this Deadwood, and he said he's definitely been doing this maybe a little bit lately, trying it out at least. With that clear cutting, it does allow for him to really be slippery, and he constantly is using that to his advantage. As you do see Pew on to Luna, and actually Deadwood going to be gone right here by Dampier. Auto attacks coming out, not going to be nearly enough for a kill, but you saw the flight as well as the Terrorize used right there from Dampier, and putting that harassment out, and going to force him to use a lot of the heavy regen he has. But Dampier knocks on Dampier 23 and 19 creep farm. He is having a fantastic time, and you see right here he's going to fight Blood Chalice as well as Boots. A good start. Middle lane, though. Pebbles in some trouble here. Nope, going to be fine.
Gonna be all right indeed. Engineer just not able to get over there for a second keg, and Pebbles, he's actually doing all right. I'm surprised at the amount of levels he's getting, and Slicks doing a very nice job of using that hatchet combined with the toss and the stray auto attack that he might get to get 9 CS here at the beginning. Engineer also doing some roaming and is going to get the TD, but it gets hit by the Rotten Grasp. The keg going to be going out here, and looks like Pebbles will retreat. Feeling that it was just a little bit too scary of a proposition for Rally and Engineer maybe to be able to close that distance. There was even an Luna coming over, but
well, I think they actually could have tried to get Deadwood right there. If Rally was getting range to compel Engineer forward onto Deadwood, that could have actually been a kill setup on him, especially with a Luna coming over right there. But they chose not to pursue it in the end.
They actually turned around for like the briefest of seconds, but then decided against it.
Yeah.
Missing out on a lot of farm in the middle lane if they had opted to go for that, and if it didn't pay off, it would have been pretty bad.
Yeah. I also like seeing these Rally builds, especially after the patch. Now, in this matchup, again, as we stated before, it makes sense, especially against a Pebbles. The minus armor coming out of that pass, and not one of the biggest. Meanwhile, though, Tempest running in. He has an element to avoid. Couldn't get close enough, though. Is he going to maybe... Nope, he's not going to be able to get close enough in the end, so they will be fine. Deadwood, though, at the bottom lane, continuing to be harassed. I love the clear cutting, though. He's just going through the trees. Trying to stay alive here again. So slippery to catch, but I think Dampier's found a Vampiric Fly. The Terrorize come out. Aluna putting in the auto attacks, and Keizu is going to fall, but actually they get the Bloodless kill first in the middle, and it is in favor of Team Excellent, though. Is he actually going to get away? No. Oh, okay, Aluna snaps out. Aluna was trying to give it to Dampier, but he started to get a little bit away, so wanted to finish him off at the end, it looks like. But the kill was in the middle lane, so obviously Pebbles very vulnerable. Falls there.
Yeah, that double damage that Engineer did bottle up in the bottom lane, donated to Rally, and easy as a compel, slow keg, and a turret, and see you later, Slicks. So, and that's the vulnerability of this Pebbles. A great hero, but stuck in a 1v2 lane. He certainly doesn't have the mobility to be able to escape these ganks. No return potential without some sufficient levels or backup, and just not ideal for him. We had seen that Chams had actually rotated into the middle lane to try to get a kill, but wasn't able to get into position fast enough without boots for one of those elemental voids. So having to back up. Now he's going to have Ring of the Teacher delivered, but still no boots, so don't expect any additional ganks until he gets those little red booties.
Yeah, little red booties of his. Wants to get that movement speed increase before able to effectively do so. He's level 7, though, and it seems like his farm is definitely doing him pretty damn good. In fact, he's up there with the best of them, around 313 gold per minute. He's going to come to the top lane. It looks like they're trying to set up a push. Yeah, he is going to come up here. And with Gemini and Torture also pushing up, Torture does level up that impalement, so this tower is going to start dropping quickly. Meanwhile, at the bottom lane, Deadwood is being chased back once again. The Terrorize just out of range. Dampier tried to terrorize right there for the fear effect, but Deadwood just out of range. It's going to be fine. Back to the top lane. Keeper of the Forest hiding in the jungle over here. He doesn't have mana, actually. Does fine, so he needs to be really careful. He's going to get away, but this tower is definitely going to fall here in the Hellborn team favor. So Going to be a good push from tmsR and Gemini, as expected. And once again, he is Moon Meander, having the free farm here. He's 51 and 17. He is tops in the game right now and farming over 400 gold per minute. So
I have been extremely impressed by Moon's ability to farm. Like, I mean, everybody knows, like, these players, nobody really misses a CS if you're in this kind of a situation. But Moon Meander he has done really, really well in both these games, as well as some of the scrims I've been watching in the last weeks. Really, really impressing me as this short lane carry for tmsR, and excited to see how he does come cycle 1, if he's going to be able to carry that over. But
I think it says something to the players that you have Slicks, you have Keizu. That's bottom tower push, by the way, by the Legion team. But you have Slicks, you have Keizu as well, who both have phenomenal backgrounds, and Slicks even most recently in that carry role. The fact that they were willing to be like, okay, you know what, Moon Meander coming in, he's going to be our new carry, that really should tell you something right there, that his teammates are willing to allow him to play that role, and they're comfortable enough to allow him to do so. And you're right, I mean, he most certainly is, he's just a great player, of course. And as any great player, really, definitely can fit into the role just fine, and definitely is a great, doing great at it. And no doubt, as the Haunter Season 2 picks up, I'm sure he's going to be considered one of the better carry players out there on the Han scene for good reason. So,
you know what I'm looking forward to, Breaky?
Yeah.
Stats and Fantasy Han.
Fantasy Han, man.
It's coming back.
I would love for that.
I'm going to kick so much ass all over again. All over again. I'm going to get third place
sure you
so
got
many
last
cycles. No, Emperor did. That's
true.
all that matters.
Is that really a feat, though, to get higher than Emperor? I mean, come on.
I mean, well.
Oh, nice collapse on the middle lane. Gemini ports in, but the quick silence from the energy field. No response to be had. So Engineer putting the energy field down as a just in case, really. But the good initial kill on Pebbles, and as we kind of expected, I mean, Slicks is having a pretty bad time here in the middle lane. Terra, there's a Vampiric Fly. The Terra is a consume, but not kill by any means coming out from Dampier. He does have the 3 essences, so obviously doing plenty of damage. But Deadwood still just a little too tanky. Get away right there.
Yeah, I mean, you see the tank potential of Deadwood, and really the suicide potential in general of this hero. He is level 5, and this is a hero that in a 1v1 situation as a suicide, he's going to be able to beat almost any hero out there as long as he's stacked regen. In a 1v2 situation, he is almost always going to survive maybe one death, but you're never going to really be able to just completely zone the hero out unless you dedicate a ward in that lane and never let him get close. If he gets level 2, gets that clear cutting, he will be able to survive for the most part, get the experience, and even right now, the lane being pushed up, Keizu being able to get at least a couple of last hits. I really do like seeing the incorporation of new heroes into this role.
Oh, Engineer.
Wow, this is crazy.
I'm surprised Gemini didn't see him right there. It seemed like they were right next to each other, but they didn't see him. They're going to energize right here. They want to go into Keeper, but look at this flank. Xcet has a beautiful chance here to set out. The port's coming in. There's the flank. Oh, he can't get off the energy field. He gets locked down before he waited a little bit too long to Engineer. Now Dampier will jump in. They do kill Tempest. Pebble's also in trouble. He too will fall, and Gemini gets caught by the roots. Oh, still going to work out beautifully for Xcet, it looks like. Can they ultimately chase down Gemini? Slow comes out with the breath on a Dampier. He's running away. Vampiric Fly coming up in 1 second. Is he close enough? No, he's just barely out of range. There's a Compel, though. Oh! And no, he chose to terrorize, which missed. There's a Vampiric Flight. Oh, Nox. If he Vampiric Flight at first, it would have been guaranteed. He's going to try to get himself killed by the Ancients here. He's going to port away.
My God.
Oh my
really well played by Moon.
Oh, man.
A big mistake there by Nox, though.
He didn't flight first.
Yeah, exactly. Thought that he was going to be in range. Thought that the stun was going to connect, I think.
Yeah.
But either way, a big mistake, and they
Two
needed that
mistakes.
kill on Moon Meander.
Remember, Bassus on Engineer, he waited just a little too long to get the energy field off. He wanted to go perfect position.
That fight could have been a lot better for Excellent if they had been able to get that energy field off. But I've also got to say, a nice job to the stunners here on tmsR. I believe it was the chain reaction coming in from Fitsky, as well as I think the stalagmites by Pebbles. They both kind of hit at pretty much the same time. Really, really nice job being able to shut down and kill the Engineer before he can get that off. And that's the only reason they didn't lose at least 3, if not 4 players in that fight.
I'll tell you what, though, Dampier is a scary hero, both in the sense of just the lore of him, of course, being the vampire after all, but Also, with the snowball effect, he is having a beautiful start, and this is one of the scary heroes, I think, honestly, in the game as far as that can get that snowball because of the mass amount of damage he can put on, as well as his ability to synergize together. The more he gets the farm, the more he can get those consumes off and level up his charges, the more damage he's doing overall. And a nice catch in the middle lane of the Keeper of the Forest. They push the middle lane and also get Keeper of the Forest caught up a little bit right there, so that's definitely good news for tmsR, but you see Dampier with the light band, and with the introduction of Grimoire Power into tournament rules, it was an item that's built for this hero, really, when it comes down to it. So whether or not we see that in the Dawnbringer, I'm actually very curious about. But we'll see what Nox does value here. Again, it is Nox after all. Dampier does pour it in. Stalagmites come out 3. Avoids down. Vampire flat in. They're terrorized, and a quick kill on him. Pebbles again. That's just how quickly it can happen. Torture also left behind. He to a fall. A double tap for Nox coming out.
Yeah, it's looking really, really good for Excellent. In fact, and more than anything, I think that tmsR was just getting a little bit too overconfident right there, thinking, "Hey, we've got our players. We can just knock this tower down." And unfortunately, that's not the case. Excellent has been responding, and without Gemini, who has a majority of the farm on the team, and I even think that without Tempest, he wasn't there, was he?
I don't.
He might have.
I think he was there, but he was really far back and set to fall back. So
I'm not sure. I mean, but you really do want to be having at least a majority of your players there if you are going to be committing to a push like that, even after TPs are going to start to come in. And in this case, tmsR gets the short end of the stick, and Excellent makes a big capitalization.
Oh, they're going in deep. Jetwood quickly going to be burst off the. Yeah, I don't know about that for the Helper team. Root is up. It's going to be used right there. Pebbles locked down. Gemini splits up, trying to lock down Dampier. Now Torture running. But there's the yellow at the point. Stopped immediately, though, by Aluna. And there's still an opening for Team X. And Terrorize. Torture is going to fall right here. Pebbles and Tempest on the run. Gemini says sayonara. Uses the Energizer. Big compel right there to finish off Pebbles. And both Tempest and Gemini now, you just need to get away. You know, I was saying right there that was going to be a great turnaround chance for X, especially with Keeper of the Forest Root being up. And it did pay off right there. Again, the burst damage on Dampier, and it looks like he is going to be going into that Grimoire. So that's even more damage, and he's also a level 11 on top of that. So the Consume is already hitting for 300. Wait, it says right here. Yeah, 480 damage because of the buffs on him so far. So he is hitting hard.
Yeah, going to be up in that like 550-ish range once he gets that Grimoire Power, which he has the money for, and purchases right there. That'll be flying out. Dampier's combination will be enough to one-shot anyone. Pretty much anyone on this team.
Oh, yeah.
Simply because there's 0 Mystic Vestments out there. If they had Mystic Vestments, that could be a different situation, as Gemini is going to have to use the Twin Fang to retreat in this middle lane, and Glacial Blast being used onto a Rally Illusion. This tower is being pressured heavily. Legion really wants it.
They do, and they'll get it. You can tell the Hellborn team, they're getting more and more scared, understandably.
As they should be.
Yeah, as they should be. They kind of wanted to try for a deny there, kind of wanted to maybe nit, but it's like, you know what? Dampier has shown us now several times this game already that he is scary, and he will tear us a new one. So that Grimoire Power finish, man, and Dampier is going to really continue to snowball. 530 gold per minute. You do have Gemini, Moonmeter doing his part, 350 gold per minute. He's trying to get that Shrunken Head ASAP, or at least I hope so. In this game, this is not going to be the Dark Lady game. I guarantee that, especially with them being behind already. 6,300 game and 4,500 experience. He's probably going to go the more build that just makes sense. That Shrunken Head is a priority here in this game for him. So we'll see if and when he's able to get that. But now a Portal Key on Rally, so obviously a lot of focus on the Dampier. But his supporting cast, it seems like, also coming along pretty nicely, especially that Rally. With that Portal Key. They want to maybe try to set something up bottom here. They're going to use Rally as bait, it looks like. But it's only a Luna nearby, so it's a little risky.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's actually just really, really confident that he's able to farm up that far. Luna dropping the counter ward further back in the lane, making sure that there was no wards down from the Hellborn team to try to set up any kills there. So just feeling confident, and Excellent doing a really nice job capitalizing on the momentum that they have by taking that map control and by making sure that they're farming in as many spots as possible to try to get the resources. But bottom lane, yeah.
They tried.
Yeah.
The Rotten Grasp missed. Even if it hit, though, I still think he would have survived. So Falcon Punch was used right there. Pebbles did what he could. Wasn't going to happen. You have a level 8 Pebbles and a level 7 Deadwood against your 10 Rally with the Mystic Vestments and Steam Boots. So Speaking of Mystic Vestments, man, there's still none here on the Hellborn side. I mean, I know it got buffed to 500 gold, or not even buffed, I guess nerf change, whatever, to 500 gold. You're dealing with a snowballing Dampier, though. Mystic Vestments is a necessity in this game. That and Shrunken Heads are necessities in this game if you're the Hellborn team right now. So you would hope that for their sake, they can start getting that ASAP. But nothing yet over there on any hero. And now we see the tower in the bottom lane is going to be heavily pushed in by the Legion side. So really starting to control the map in that sense here as far as pushing in the lanes. I'll just go ahead and steal the Ancients on top of that. So again, Gemini, he is getting closer to his own Shrunken Head, which would be great. Portal keys, though, for both Deadwood and Pebbles, they're not coming along. And that's the other thing to look at about this game. As snowball as it is for Team xCet, and they've been playing it great, it's also on top of that, Pebbles and Deadwood, because of the lanes. I mean, yes, the Suicide Deadwood, it can work in survivability. He's going to be behind farm, though. Pebbles, he was solo mid for this game, and it's 1 versus 2. He was not going to get the farm, clearly. So they picked up these heroes that really value getting portal keys in most cases. Neither one was valued to get a portal key early on, though. And I think that's also hurting them.
Yeah, you have to think that tmsR was anticipating being able to take some earlier team fights and pushes and then try to get Deadwood and Pebbles back in via that route. But as a result of really losing those lanes, as you kind of expect to do. I mean, you don't expect to win a 1v2. You don't expect to win with that 1v2 on Deadwood as the Suicide. But they expected this Gemini and Tempest to be able to really carry them into some team fights and some pushes. And unfortunately, as a result of the way that these fights and ganks have gone, both Gemini and Tempest have been set back a little bit. They've been a little bit too afraid to farm because there's no pressure being generated anywhere else. But right now they could try to pick off Dampier. And there's the Rotten Grasp into the Twin Fang. The Breath is there. Willowmaker as well. And there's the stuns coming out from Fire and Ice. But Dampier turns it around. Gonna get the kill onto Deadwood. But the Glacial Blast might be able to finish him off, and they will.
Tempest got there in time, though, thank God.
I don't even know,
I saw that coming. I'm not going to lie. I saw that coming, though. I knew that he was at least going to get a counter kill on Deadwood, honestly. The burst damage that he has and the lifesteal that it provides, obviously, with the Consume and the Vampiric Flight, it was pretty obvious, but Tempest, he just bought the portal key. He ported to the bottom lane. There were no towers other than the base tower, so it took him a while, but he finally made it. And they do get the kill, so that's still very worth it, even with a Deadwood death right there coming out by the Hellborn side. But again, it does really show you how powerful this Dampier is right now. But tmsR doing what they need to do here in this game, absolutely. Get those free kills on a Nox if he's going to be pushing up by himself like he did right there. Granted, he did have some decent vision to use, but again, he just simply did not see that gank coming. And they also surprised him with the Portal Key Tempest. So on that note, Portal Key on to Tempest, being played by Shams here, of course, aka Aesthetics. Passing up the Shrunken Head options, at least as far as his priority, you know, I think that a lot of it has to do with just the pace of this game here. Just simply that they want to get those chances with the Portal Key to get the either big ultimates or position to stun, as we saw right there. So I do like the choice to go Portal Key here, no doubt, on Tempest before Shrunken Head. And it also is opening more of a window now for Gemini. He is very close to his own Shrunken Head again.
Yeah, about 500 gold off, and I hope that's what Dampier is going for next. As much as we really like to talk about the amount of burst damage that this hero can provide, because, well, frankly, it's pretty outstanding, you do need to be able to survive after you go in there and pick off a hero. You need to be able to pump the Shrunken Head, reset, wait for your cooldowns to come back up 20 seconds later or whatever it is, and then go in again. And without a Shrunken Head, you're likely not going to be able to do that against the heroes that the Hellborn team has. So really, really hoping that he does go for that Shrunken Head, and that he's going to go for it next. That's really going to be the other thing. This Legion team is not really going to be too happy with taking team fights until he does get that Shrunken Head, just because losing Dampier each and every time because of those high levels is going to distribute a lot of experience to the opposing team. So you got to open up some space for Dampier to farm right now. 2,100 gold, that's his benchmark to get that Shrunken Head, and then they'll start to take some towers. But right now they're going in mid.
They are rally compelling away, and actually going to be fine in the end. I don't know if that was him actually trying to get a kill himself or more so just defensive, but he does get away in the end. I think actually, I think Dampier might have actually purchased the Warhammer. No, actually maybe he didn't. He does have the Portal Key with that Grimoire, so maybe not. Yeah, he might need the 2,900 gold still, but they're going to push the middle tower right here. It's going to be a free tower kill. Hellborn team, and again, understandably not going to look to defend this. This will be the 5th outer tower kill, so the only one remains is that top tower up there. for Team Excellent to take care of, so going to head that direction at least. Another 1,900 gold on Keeper. He too could be going for a Portakey, honestly. They already have one Rally. Engineer even getting the gold to pick one up. He's farming 250 gold from Minnow playing that secondary support here. So I wouldn't be surprised to see a Portakey coming out for Keeper the Forest, though. And they're going to go for Kongor, it looks like. There is vision here from tmsR, so they are definitely aware. But do you go in? I mean, you got Keeper Root, you got Engineer, you have Dampier getting crazy farm. You need to be really certain about your initiation. They do have a Portakey on Pebbles and Deadwood now. That's actually huge for the Hellborn team.
It's all going to be about how they can go in if they want to. And they're going to hit the Energizer. Here it goes.
Big energy field, though. Dampier comes over the Vampire Fly that terrorizes as well. The Consume, and they finishes off Gemini just like that. He's being locked down, but with Gemini dead, I don't think they're too concerned. Down goes Torture, the Elemental Form, but that's just a case of, guys, I'm trying to save you. Run away.
Nice.
Heal Portakey away, and everyone else will be fine. So the Elemental Void used very defensively right there, but it did save at least one more kill from happening, if not more. But this is going to be a free Kongor kill, and Team Excellent going to look really strong. As you said, it's going to come down to the initiation and who they go on. Either they chose Rally, but Engineer did a great job of responding.
Yeah, I mean, you can go for the Keeper of the Forest or the Engineer. If you can prevent them from getting off their energy fields and their roots, then maybe that's a worthy pickoff. Going for Rally, more of a long-term investment with that kill, hoping that he's just not going to be available for multiple stunts and whatnot. Either way, they didn't have the burst damage to be able to get in and out of there very fast, and then they just kind of got picked off after that. Gonna take the Kongor, now sitting on a very hefty resource advantage. Things starting to look pretty dang grim for tmsR. It's really going to be up to Moonmeander to be able to sit here and turtle out on the dog long enough to get his team back into this game.
It is, but yeah, it's with the start, because again, especially even without that buff onto Dampier, this last patch with giving him that passive ability again, increasing the attack speed now, as well, the 10x attack speed per essence. Even without that, he still was considered to be a hero that could honestly have some pretty good late game presence, mainly because of how he just amplifies in that earlier game stage. And, you know, with that lifesteal from the Bloodthirst, and we do see it from time to time, you know, when it gets to that later game stage, something like that Dawnbringer, Geometers, maybe we've seen him before, it's possible. So he can continue to be a big presence all the way through the late game and become more of a physical threat even, still with some great magic threat. So, you know, with that said, Gemini only having an Energizer and Shrunken Head right now, he is really behind this Dampier here when it comes to that farm. He's 4 levels under as well. So they're going to need to win multiple fights here to even start that comeback, really. Going back in their favor, it really seems like. But obviously, kind of do what they can. But it is they are in a very difficult spot, is ultimately where I'm getting at, really. So
yeah, it's going to come down to 5-man Elemental Voids with nobody getting their Shrunken Heads off. And bottom lane, they're going to try to catch Moonmeander. He hits the Shrunken Head and will TP on out of there. Nice portal key down to the boat by Pebbles. Got to swap onto those inputs and try to TP on out here in a second. And Gemini does actually get rooted down and the TP canceled. So bad times Meander.
Look at Lotus. She's going to power throw. No, that would have been great if they spotted him with the power throw. Meanwhile, back to the top lane. Dampier actually up here still. That's an illusion? Okay, that's an illusion. I was going to say, that makes no sense. How did he get back up there? We do see a chase on the Engineer. They get the tower kill, but Engineer actually hanging around still. Yeah, magic, right? With the farm he's having, with the game he's having, I wouldn't be surprised if he just went post-ace all of a sudden. But no, anyways, they do get the tower kill, so Engineer not really too concerned about dying right there, especially with that tower kill. And again, with Gemini also being dead, Nox is now at 610 gold per minute, man. Another 1,800 gold saved up. And he has a token, obviously.
Nox is kind of insane.
Yeah.
He is kind of insane. 620-ish gold per minute in the last game, and at 610, like you're talking about right now on Dampier, he is getting very big. An additional 2,000 gold saved up now, and I mean, really the world is his oyster as far as what he wants to go for, his items next. But what his team has to do to win out from here is to just really play pretty safe. You can continue to put aggression on, but you just have to play safe, knowing that if you do group up, if you get hit by multi-man Tempest Elemental Voids, that you could actually lose a team fight, even with as far ahead as you are. So they're just going to go ahead and slow push, keep all these lanes moved up, try to resource manage their opponents, and maybe get a pick. If you're able to get a pick, then you can break into the base. Until that point, though, you just got to continue to slow play it.
Yeah, Dampier's not worried again. He has a token alive for just over 3 minutes remaining, so he's going to go into the front lines here and start beating on the tower. But your classic case here for tmsR, again, you need to go in. You don't want to, but you kind of do. There's initiation. Energy field hits a couple of heroes right there. Here comes a Shrug and a Dampier. Pebbles is going to absolutely disintegrate, but the Elemental Void going to lock him down a full duration. Again, he still has a token, though, so even if he falls right here, he's coming right back up. He's not going to fall. Gemini's beating on Keeper of the Force in the background, trying to do something. Dampier does eventually fall. Again, though, he is coming back up. The rest of his team still alive. Keeper of the Force barely survives. Gemini also managing to get away now with his Shrunken Head down, though. And that might be the end of that. xCet going to reset. Will they go back to the middle lane here? So they did push quite far into the base there. Took out damage onto the tower as a result.
Now, I'd actually like to see them fall back and regen, wait for their cooldowns to come back up, specifically this Keeper of the Force route, before they start to put any additional pressure on. They will have about an 80-second window where there's going to be no Elemental Void, and the Elemental Void was the only reason why that team fight did not go catastrophically wrong for tmsR. The Void catching Dampier, not only catching him for the full duration, but catching him while the Shrunken Head was activated. As soon as the Shrunken Head was down, Dampier did not have the real ability to chase anybody down at that point. And so, gonna fall back for now. Just keep on farming, and that's fine. Trading the Token of Life with 3 minutes for a little bit of damage on the tower and an Elemental Void. Now, as long as they don't try to engage without that Elemental Void, the Hellborn that is, then the Legion team is just going to be able to really compound this advantage.
Interesting pickup here from Dampier. He actually goes the Axe of the Malphite. Probably going to end up turning into a Behemoth's Heart. So he really is going to... I kind of like it. I mean, he's making a point that I'm doing a lot of damage already.
Yeah.
Now, so what makes sense next to the line? I'm going to bulk myself up. So that he does with the Axe of the Malphite pickup alone. He has now 2,100 plus life. You see Pebbles initiating. Shrunken Head goes off. The Vampire flies so good distance. Takes out Torture right there, and the team could not do anything about it. He's going to push in. That Keeper of the Force route is coming up in 10 seconds that you were talking about. Elemental Void still down for 75 seconds. Down with the Falcon Punch in. We'll reduce that strength, remember, too. Damper further initiative from Gemini, but there's the energy field that goes back in with the lifesteal. Gemini, that was Pebbles, actually, and Gemini both get responded on. Ouch.
I was really, really scared right there that when Dampier had actually activated the Shrunken Head to get the kill onto Torture only, that he was going to get turned around and killed.
Yeah.
Beautiful play using Compels, the push, and the Astrolabe to actually keep Dampier alive. He could very well have actually died with that Deadwood Punch if they had not made the proper response. In the end, the Legion team able to turn that one around, save their carry, and then continue to take that team fight, obliterate that Pebbles and Gemini, and then walk their way right into a Game 3.
Yeah, let's actually look one more time at that last fight right there. Again, this was initiation. So the early Shrunken Head, I was like, oh man, that might have been a little early, but no, he uses it to just drop Torture in the background. So
I'm thinking in my head, get back right here.
Yeah,
like
okay,
maybe get back. This is a little bit scary. And then here comes Deadwood, and right there. Punch immediately got pushed or compelled backward, then compelled or pushed once again, goes back in, and just pure destruction.
How about the energy field placement? Pebbles and Gemini were locked on the energy field the whole time. That was beautiful from Bassett's right there coming out. And yeah, you see the end result. So well played by Team Excellent. That was a very deserving win by Team Excellent right there.
Yes.
I mean, the Dampier pickup, obviously a hero we do not see a lot on the competitive scene, but he did get those buffs and Grimoire power ever since that was introduced. It seemed like this is a hero that could have his place somewhat. Nox says he has a place, damn it, and he showed that right here. I still think the biggest thing, though, was the laning phase. The draft, the laning phase in general for tmsR. Again, the Pebbles, when you have a Pebbles and a Deadwood, at least prioritizing one of those heroes for an early on portal key is important. They didn't do it for either. They were prioritizing a Gemini. They sent Torture to protect him at the top lane. Pebbles 1v2, Deadwood 1v2 Suicide. You were not going to have impactful heroes as a result of that, and that shows. So
yeah. Definitely trying something a little bit different there. So you think it's the drafting phase. I think I've got to actually come back down to the beard factor. The beard factor there on the Legion team between Engineer, Keeper of the Forest, and Rally. Even Dampier's got kind of a beard going on right there. Aluna's pretty anti-beard, but it definitely paid off. And nice job from Team Excellent drafting a beard-heavy team.
The beard heavy strat coming through.
We'll see if they can carry the momentum into game number 3 and try to take what I think would be an upset win here over Team Excellent.